Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. And once again, talking about dating and relationships because it is the hot topic. I'm going through it. So you all are going to have to go through it. And you're going to have to listen to me talk about it since I'm going through it. So until I stop going through it, I'm going to keep talking about it. But what I want to talk about in this video right here is the fact that women prevail in hookup culture. They just absolutely do. When it comes to hookup culture, women are the ultimate winners. Now, in the long term, they're going to be the ultimate losers because when they get about 60 and 70, they'll be alone. They don't, at least the women, let me just probably state this. The women that I've encountered in my life, even though they make good salaries, they prioritize a lot of things over their future, particularly traveling, having fun. Like I told you, these women are all about having fun. They prioritize everything over their future. So everything is for the here and now. So when it comes time for their future, they're going to be relying on other people to take care of them because it just seems to be in a woman's nature to do that. Unfortunately, I have to say that. So this is why I say women prevail in hookup culture. And this kind of ties into the previous videos that I've just done in regards to specifically how men, particularly black men, are not as desirable as they think they are, and they don't have as many options. And they definitely don't have as many options as women. And men, period, don't have as many options as women. And let me give you a few examples. My ex, who's been trying to rope me in, she tries to use me as her sucker, and that has stopped. But she suffers from a debilitating disease. Trust me when I say that. A lot of times, sometimes she gets immobile, can't walk, can't function, has lost motor skills in parts of her body. But yet she is having the sexual time of her life. We have mutual friends. And even in talking with her, she'll tell me about her sexual escapades when me and her have talked. She'll tell me about her sexual escapades. But then she used to start trying to lie to me because she wanted me to take care of her. Mind you, she feeds me that I'm celibate, I'm not doing anything, but she feeds me that routine and especially negates me from doing anything with her. So that goes to show you how pathetic I am. But yet she's sleeping with all of these other guys that are just bringing her liquor and, having a good time. I guess I don't know if they're doing weed and liquor and they just, because that's all she wants. But she's partying and she's able to get these men because she has a body. Her body is right. And they don't care that she can't, and they don't take her out. They just come by, and come to the house and do what they do and then leave. But she gets to have these sexual escapades because she has a body on her. Now, long term, and then she even confided to me, well, this body is a curse. She was sitting in the car crying, talking about how her body is a curse because that's all men want her for. She definitely won't let me get it, but she'll let everybody else gets it. And this is the honest God's honest truth. But she'll tell me how, everybody just wants her for one thing. But she gives it to them. She gives it to them. This other female has one of those bags, one of those bags for your digestive tracts. What is it? Colostomy bags. Has a colostomy bag. And gets men just fine. Gets men and has her fun just fine. Has no problems getting a man. Has zero problems getting a man. Let a man show up with a colostomy bag. He's not getting anything. I mean, maybe if he's super fine, I don't know. But it goes to show you how your looks can negate any other crippling or debilitating disease that you have. And so I'm bringing those two examples up just to show you that regardless, and also too, going back to these women, some of these women, and even there's a lady on YouTube called Helena Pascal. She even mentioned that, yeah, I'm a little overweight, and she talked about how she's overweight and she has to lose some weight. She doesn't look horribly bad. But she admit that she's a thick girl. But then she's in the next breath, she's talking about how she was dating some man, and I guess some of the things that kind of turned her off to him was the fact that he had sleep apnea. He slept with a sleep machine. He was had high blood pressure, and I think he was diabetic. So again, these are some things that, mind you, and I think this lady Helene is in her 40s, like me. But these are things that hit people when they get older. And I'm not trying to say that this is the norm or try to normalize it, but it dang sure is in American culture. When you look at American culture, not only does obesity prevail and is a norm, but high blood pressure, hypertension, prehypertension is a norm, as well as diabetes is becoming a norm. But the thing is that she's willing to turn down men because they sleep with a sleep machine. And she's willing to turn men back away because of certain debilitating diseases they have, but her weight she doesn't see as a problem. And the same thing with the woman that I told you about before, my ex. She turned down a man because he had a sleep machine. Turned him down. Said, you can't bring that machine in my house. She literally kicked him out of her house because he was coming over to sleep over. Once again, I told you she has no problem getting a man and sleeping with a man. And she kicked him out because he brought the machine in her house. But yet she doesn't see the fact that she can't even walk right. She doesn't even walk normal. She can't use some of her limbs on her body because of her condition. And she doesn't see her as having deficiencies, but yet she judges everyone else. And the same with this other woman that has the colostomy bag. She judges and she wants a normal man who's in shape, athletic, and he has to look a certain way, but yet she has a bag. And so, I haven't asked her yet, like, well, how does that work? Like, how do the men perceive that? Or they just, they tell you keep your shirt on? I have no idea. But women's marketplace, for them to have engage in intimate encounters and for them to thrive in hookup culture, they far surpass men. Like I told y'all in my previous video, a lot of men, they're not even having intimacy with women. They can't even find a woman to be interested in sharing their bodies with them because the men are just average men. They're viewed as dull, boring, average looking, and they're just viewed as unattractive. And I'm going to be honest, admittedly, I am one of those guys. It is a tough trail out here. The only women that are showing you interest are the women who are super desperate. And when I say super desperate, I mean like the big girls and the old women. And that's just being honest. Or the women who want to be taken care of. And, that just want to use a guy. I've literally had some women even tell me, hey, what are you going to buy me? Well, you got to pay for play. I had a girl told me, purse first. You know what? Last. And it was just kind of like, really? So these are the things that kind of like, at least I'm experiencing. Like I said, there's a lot of guys that they're thriving in this. I guess because they are the in-demand males. But but a lot of us are not. So that's why I say women are thriving in the hookup culture. But in the long term, like I said, these women don't plan for their future. They think that, everything's going to be fine and they can do whatever it is they want to do. Like there was this one woman, she was on, I think, Kendra G's show, and she was a teacher, makes $60-something thousand a year. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's not a lot of money. It's not. I mean, but she's in Atlanta, so I don't know if they're, cost of living down there. I don't know. But here she is demanding that, she has a requirement, an absolute requirement, mind you, that a man has to have a passport and he has to travel with her because she takes 2 international trips a year. And that is non-negotiable. But yet in the next breath, she talks about how her student loan debts are not going to get paid off and they're not going anywhere because she's not going to pay them down. Because obviously her student loan debts are super high. So here she is paying down her debt over traveling. She wants to have her fun. Instead of saying, okay, let me take care of my responsibility, pay my debt off first, and then I can have fun. They don't think like that. So again, once these women start hitting their 60s, 70s, and they start getting to that point and they start getting, now they're at the point where they're definitely probably more or less likely going to be by themselves. Then you expect the government to take care of you. You expect your children to take care of you. You expect everybody to take care of you but you. So that's why I say women are winning the hookup culture, but they're going to lose as far as long-term care. They're going to lose out on partnership and just, finding a life partner to go through life with. And this is specifically for those women who are in their 40s right now. If you're in your 20s, it's not too late. You're in your 30s, it's not too late. When you start getting into your 40s and 50s, people get settled into their ways. Especially if you've already had your kids and you're not having any more, and that person has already had their kids and they're not having any more, then you look at it and say, well, why get married? Marriage is not for me. I've already had my kids. I've already built my future up. I've already built up my 401k. So, why should I give somebody that I just met in my 40s, why should I leave them my inheritance of, whatever's in my 401k account, be it $300,000 or $3 million? Why should I leave that to them? And I just met them. My kids are getting this. And then, so these women, you think that you're going to get something from a man and you're not, especially, like I said, if you're in your 40s and beyond. The tables have already been set. So you have to make better choices. So once again, women, they're winning the hookup culture. Fellas, we're not winning the hookup culture. And not to say that we want to win the hookup culture, but the reality check is we don't get to thrive and have the fun that they're having. But they're going to pay for it in the end. So what do you think about this? This is the Political Brown Kid. Leave me a comment. Also hit the like and subscribe button. That helps me to reach a wider audience. And definitely leave comments. Once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.